a deep sea boat. So we went out deep sea fishing and a couple times, and they let me swim out in the ocean, like way offshore. And I remember going under, and the water was so black. It was like it was blue from the top, but once you were under it and you swam down far enough, it just gets black and scary, like that fast.
Yep.
So, and you could see little spots of white that was, I guess, plankton, stuff in the ocean. And later that summer, I went to Boy Scout camp, and I looked through my first telescope. So third grade, very formative year for me. Like lots of things coming together, lots of my favorites, books I read, movies I saw that summer. So I've always wanted to, like, when I looked through that telescope at Boy Scout camp and I saw that dark, that black sky, I envisioned, like, it reminded me of the ocean. So that week at camp, I had this dream about this octopus and in the ocean. So I've always wanted to draw or put an octopus on my telescope, right? So yeah, so I got some carving tools, and I carved a telescope. I carved an octopus on my Dobsonian telescope.
Pictures or it didn't happen?
Oh, it happened. It happened. Let's see. I'm trying to think how I can share a picture.
Casting this so far. We'll just print out everything.
Hey, Tom.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, it's Amy. Nice to see
Hi
you.
there.
I'm glad you're
Same
able
here.
to join us.
Thank you.
We just kind of do a general chat before we get the meeting going.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, I saw. I didn't want to interrupt anything that you were already.
Well, Matt's got to prove something to us here.
Okay. Yeah.
We can chat while he's looking for it.
I've actually seen the images, so I know he's done it, but it's cool to see.
Yeah, I've been working on it a while. It took me a while to figure it out.
I saw in the newsletter that the members are meeting at Cloudland Canyon tomorrow and Saturday.
So we have permission. Hi, Tom. I'm Matt.
Hi, Matt.
We actually have permission for Friday night and Saturday night, but I'm going up on. Excuse me. I'm going to go up on Saturday night because that's the only night I can get off work and get up there. But
I can only go Friday.
Yeah, there might be some people up there Friday. Just make sure you pay the fee and let them know you're with the Astronomical Society.
Yeah, I paid it online with PayPal like 2.5 weeks ago. So.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, yeah, Matt's talking about the entry fee to the park.
Well, I was going to get a campsite for tomorrow night. There's one available from a trailer.
There you go. That's amazing.
He said if there's one.
Oh, if there is, yeah.
There is. There's one night available on a site.
I would grab it like right now.
Yeah, I think so.
Have anybody checked the weather? Is it supposed to be raining or?
I don't know.
Intermittent. Like tomorrow night's supposed to be, unfortunately, the worst.
Okay.
I think
it's supposed to rain tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Scattered stuff on Saturday. I don't know about that evening.
So, Kevin, what do you have new that you're going to bring?
I don't have anything. Well, I'm trying to think. So I bought a solar scope, but that was like 3 months ago or 4 months ago, maybe.
Okay.
So I got a Lunt 60. So.
Oh, that's perfect.
That's awesome. What camera do you have on it?
I've got the 174.
Oh, perfect.
So the ZWO. So I played with it once, and that's it.
Yeah.
I'm going to share my screen and show it to you. You ready?
I'm taking it to Texas. So
awesome.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. Might get me want to take mine as well.
Might as well.
Right.
Wow.
So you carved and painted.
Yep, I stained the wood.
Oh. Yeah, he used a colored stain on it.
Huh.
Wow.
That's impressive. So what'd you name it?
I haven't named it. I don't think I'm gonna name it. It's just mine. There you go.
Oh wow.
There you go.
So did you follow some kind of something you had seen, or did you actually kind of
No, I'll show
use
you.
that on your own?
Probably should have just shared this. Here we go.
To do with the things I've been hearing where people think octopus or octopi are alien to this planet.
I don't know. Okay, so top
Is that the
left.
newest conspiracy theory?
That's really beautiful, Matt.
Thank you.
That's cool.
So top left, you see that's what it looked like before I started. Then I drew this, and then I drew it on there, and then I started carving with a drill, and then I used a Minwax stain kit, and then I shaded after I carved it, and that's what the whole thing looks like.
Wow.
Pretty.
Yeah. Definitely mine now. The weirdo with the octopus telescope.
What was the documentary we just saw?
Oh, yeah.
My student, my teacher, the octopus.
Yes.
Yes.
It's awesome.
That was so
That was
good.
incredible.
It was.
Yeah, they are way smart. I could see how they could be mistaken as aliens.
What I read something about they put artificial intelligence on whale speak and other animal languages to see if it could crack what's being communicated and in response speak to them.
Ooh.
I think
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. Yep.
I'm eating dinner here. Sorry.
Okay.
Long time ago, about a guy who was pet sitting his friend's aquarium, and one for the octopus. The octopus wasn't anywhere in the aquarium.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't understand what that meant. And then he came back the next week. The octopus was gone and all the fish were gone. And there was a bunch of fish bones in the octopus tank.
My friend Terrell. Oh, sorry. I thought you were sorry.
The final week, the fourth week, he came back and the octopus was just chilling out there. And the owner said that, like, if he forgot to put something in the tank to keep the octopus from getting out, the octopus is probably just rolling around the house.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. My friend worked for Moody Gardens in Galveston, and they would have to put locks on the covers of the octopus tanks because they'd get out and like go do things. They're crazy smart. Yeah. Who knows what your octopus is gonna do, Matt? Gonna start driving that telescope, huh?
Yeah.
I actually
A new automated system.
My stepbrother and I were roommates for a bit, and he had a boa constrictor in a cage. And what's funny about this is I came home one night late and went into my bedroom, and in the corner of my bedroom was that snake wrapped around my telescope.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Well, you know, the older I get, the more I guess you look back at your childhood and you look at the years where you made connections, you know, like you figured things out, things that you still use. And I'm drawn to those things big time. Like I kind of get caught up on those things, like what's going on in terms of what I do daily and what I remembered learning. You know, when I learned something, but particularly, I guess, old books. I just went back and reread Moby Dick. Read that since I was a kid, and it's amazing how you miss a lot when you're little. Like you go back and read something, you're older, and you're like, "Whoa, that didn't make any sense to me." Like when I was a kid, I read, the first couple of pages of Moby Dick. He's like, I got bored and I went fishing. I mean, he waxed ecstatic about it, much better than I can. But
it can be the opposite too, because I was telling Amy the first movie I ever remember when we were younger, when we got HBO, was The Black Hole.
Oh, he made me watch it the other night.
yes, Maximilian.
Woo! It's such a terrible movie.
It is not aged well, but it is creepy as F. You got to admit.
It is, but when I was a kid, when that first came out, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is creepy.
Yeah.
But
that was supposed
to be did not age well. Huh?
It was Disney's answer to Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah. The music was even kind of sort of similar.
The music is good. The music is good.
It kind of reminded me of the first Star Trek with the music too. Really long, drawn out scenes and just
those robots though.
Woo. Maximilian was
cool. Bob was he was built in Houston and he had a southern accent.
Robot was like the devil.
Yeah.
Maximilian.
Yeah.
So who's coming on Friday or Saturday?
I was thinking about coming tomorrow.
You go.
Well, either one will be fine.
Tomorrow night and Saturday morning. I don't know what we'd be doing in the morning. I mean, is it a night sky looking thing, or
last night it was supposed to be cloudy and rainy, and it was cloudy all night. But at about 11:30, I went outside, and it was clearing up. And at midnight, or just soon after when I went to bed, it was clear outside. But we're just in that summer pattern.
Yeah.
I have a tweaked back and doctor's orders not to lift anything greater than 5 pounds.
You can't even lift our cat.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, no, that's not good.
And so a conversation we were just having was, okay, I said, he was like, well, maybe we can go on Saturday. I said, who's going to lift your telescope? And he goes, well, you'd have to go. You'd have to go with me.
Well,
there's a chance
that makes sense.
I do all
we got you.
Yeah.
We can help you when you get there.
Who's going to load it up at the house?
I know, that'd be me. Yeah. That's okay. I can do all that.
Kevin, what happened?
Lifting a lot of heavy stuff at work. And I mean, I could do it, but I'm under order since I did it at work. I'm on like steroids this week actually to help and inflammation and stuff. And so for the next week, I have to be careful and follow their orders, and we'll see. So I got to baby myself.
Yeah. Speaking of baby, I did that when Amy was a little girl. I mean, real small. I hurt my back at work.
Ralph, I can't hear you.
You cannot hear me. Okay.
I mean, I can hear you a little bit. Can y'all hear it?
Yeah, you're just real faint. Yeah. You're not very loud.
Can you hear me?
Faintly.
Faintly.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, don't worry about the story.
Oh.
We can hear you.
What's happening?
I like that your daughter's name is Amy.
Yeah. We named her on the way to the hospital.
Maybe it's me, Ralph. Hang on. Let me turn up my speakers. Do I sound loud to you guys?
You sound normal.
Yeah.
Hey, you're fine.
How's that? Try it again, Ralph. Say something.
Hello.
Oh, I hear you now. Maybe it was me.
Well, when Amy was a little girl, I hurt my back, and I kept hurting my back. Finally, the doctor says, don't pick anything up, not even your daughter. So after doing that for a couple of weeks, it healed up.
Yep. I didn't heed that, and because I did it over a month ago, and then finally the last 2 weeks of following orders. Hopefully it'll heal. So.
Hey, this is Jonathan, new guy here. Does anybody know when the star parties in August are going to happen in Harrison Bay? I'm very close to there. Or is that what's going to be discussed later?
No, so yeah, we'll talk about it later. But I finally have been trying to get in touch with Matt Botter for a couple weeks, and I finally got in touch with him, and he couldn't commit to the Saturdays anymore because the park, because they've lost so much revenue, they've and everybody's trying to get married. It's booked solid till like next year. So
Wow.
all he could give us was the third Friday of every month. So starting August 20th, we'll have the third Friday every month. But I think tonight we're going to talk about maybe forming a committee and talking about procedures and protocols, that make us feel safe. I know Catawba Science Community has been discussing it, and they had some really interesting ways to protect people. They actually bought face masks for everybody so that as they're looking into the telescope, they're not breathing on anything, which I thought was a good idea. And then other folks actually bought their own face mask and just put it, just kind of mounted it with, I saw some people using like a bungee cord, and I saw other people actually taping it with some type of tape, like adhesive-free tape onto the focuser, basically to keep people from breathing on those things. But they also had like a 2-minute cool down between viewing, so that you didn't actually look through a telescope, walk away, and look through a telescope where someone had just been breathing. So, as scientists and people of science, I thought we could have a discussion about that and figure out, get creative. But since they asked us, and I've been trying to get in there, I'm reluctant to say no. I feel like we need to jump on it, but just come up with new ways to do it.
Okay.
So yeah, third Friday of every month.
Okay. Part of the reason I'm asking is there's a young lady I'm in a sports league with that she runs a Boy Scout group, and I believe I read something recently, or maybe it's talking with Mr. Bell that, or it might have been the meeting last month that you guys have had, the public come and enjoy it. Things are different now, obviously. So I figure I'd ask on her behalf to see, whenever things kind of got back to normal, if her Boy Scout troop could come out and please stuff, because she was about to ask me questions. I'm like, I'm brand new at this, so there's people far more experienced than myself. So that's part of the reason I was asking too. So I just want to get some information. Maybe August is too soon, but
No. The one thing I will say is that they asked me not to advertise our star party on Facebook for the first 2 or 3 until they kind of could gauge how it's going to go, and what they're going to do is they're going to put it on their brochure for the people that are staying there. So we'll still have people who come and look, but it won't be hundreds of people like we've had before.
Right.
I've got a feeling that once we get going again, we could really see lots of crowds.
okay.
If you look at telescope equipment, I have a friend who works at OPT, and they told me that every telescope, every Dobsonian telescope, is sold out until 2022. There's a waiting list till 2022 to buy a Dobsonian telescope from OPT.
I just got an update yesterday from Celestron, or from High Point, for that telescope they ordered for our granddaughter in December.
Yep. Oh, you just got it?
No, they're saying the end of October now. So each month they put it out. So push it out. So now it's the end of October, so we're figuring maybe she might get it for Christmas this year instead of her birthday.
Yeah, Dennis, Kevin was just telling me about something he ordered.
Yeah, it was sometime last year. It was just a white light filter, just a Bader filter for,
Yeah.
you know, and
That's what that whole conversation was. Muted.
why is he laughing?
Amy's look. I see that all the time.
We need to record that.
I'm glad I missed that. I think.
He's like, I've been waiting on that solar filter for a long time. I'm like,
my wife is like, she come out yesterday. I was working painting my telescope at the rocker box. She goes, I like this. Why don't you just paint all your telescopes? Then you won't have time to buy anything. She's so funny.
So she just gave you the green light to buy more telescopes to paint.
Well, the only thing I've bought lately is to match my system in Texas to Matt, since he bought an upgraded version of mine.
Of what?
So Matt and I were trying to match telescopes, and I got the Takahashi and the 600 camera. So
Yeah.
Matt got it, but Matt got it with the really expensive reducer.
To be fair, it came with my telescope.
Do what?
To be fair, it came with my telescope, didn't it?
Well, to be fair, mine didn't. So
no Takahashi.
No Takahashi.
But I got lucky. So I got a new guide scope and guide camera. So I won the first prize, the grand prize, the OPP again, and got a $200 gift card, and was able to pick up another camera.
That's twice. He won it last year, and he won it this year too.
Yeah, the last two they've had, I've won both of them.
Wow.
So this year I got like shirt, hat, bunch of crap like that. Then I got a $250 gift card.
That's awesome.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, David.
Hey,
Hey, David.
Or David.
David, it occurred to me that we did not put in the newsletter that that business meeting will be at 6:30. So because we're not broadcasting on Facebook tonight, I think it's fine to start the business meeting at 7. And
yeah, I was confused myself. It said log in at 6:30, and
yeah, we'll correct that. Make sure it's where it needs to be next time. Hi, Bobby.
Hello.
Hey, Bobby.
Hey, Bob.
Hey.
I'm a new member. You don't know me. So.
No, you're Tom.
Yes, I am. Amazing.
Selena.
It's okay.
Who is that? You don't have any sound.
Natoka, we can't hear you. Nope, still can't.
There you go.
No.
Kind of distorted. Adjust your recording.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us? Okay.
Adjust your microphone part. So what's your interest, Tom?
Hold on.
Besides eating?
I mean,
gastronomy.
Mid-bite. Just a second. I got a 100mm spotting scope, and I just like going out and amazing myself by looking around, and I want to try to learn where more interesting objects are. You know, I'm getting better at finding things now, but I figure hanging with you guys, I could probably save some time finding nice things to look at. And that's basically what I'm doing. There's no photography involved or anything, like probably most of you guys do.
No.
So it's just, you know, the wonder of the sky, and I like it. So
whereabouts do you live?
North Chattanooga, about a mile north of Market Street Bridge.
Oh,
right off Dallas Road.
oh, okay, yeah.
So it's a terrible place for stargazing. You know, that downtown just completely lights up my southern sky. But
I just left one.
Oh, okay. But I did go to Big Bend over on Christmas time, and I was out in Oklahoma a couple months ago. So I was a lot of fun. I did what you guys do, but there was people doing it out there, so that was a lot of fun.
Oh.
I do that when I can. No, I just joined about 2 weeks ago, so I'm gonna hopefully get Sky and Telescope soon and get more educated.
We're glad to have you, man.
Well, thank you.
Get down
Glad
there.
to meet you guys.
Yeah, we've got a pretty good group of folks here. Some are imagers, some are just visual. Everybody loves astronomy, so all levels, advanced and beginners. So just the more the merrier.
I got paid for it.
Thanks. Okay.
Jonathan, what do you do?
Oh, you mean like in my job?
No.
Oh. Well, when people ask me what I do, that's usually my first response is to tell them. But you talking about like in regard to the astronomy?
Yeah, that's a southern thing to ask. What do you do? Yeah.
Well, where we live. Me, it's really because I'm so new to it. I got my first real scope just last summer. So for me, it's just viewing, and it's a Dobbs, so it's not really good for taking pictures. I've tried with my cell phone, mixed results, but for me, it's just viewing and just to learn constellations and stuff like that. I've seen a few things, but I'm really interested in seeing some stuff through some bigger scopes and different ones as well.
How big is your scope in diameter?
It's a 6-inch. It's a tabletop Dobsonian.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I have a 70 millimeter refractor too, but it's just for like if I go on vacation, want to take it with me or something.
Hey, more than I had in 1950.
Well, I can't speak to that. I wasn't around then, so I don't know what was actually available. But no,
really?
But no, it's a good starter scope. But I've been researching. Somebody said something earlier about it's like scopes won't be available, Dobbs won't be available till like next year, and I've been looking at like a 10 and 12, just to get ideas, do research, and yeah, there's nothing if I wanted to order, there's nothing that I can find that I could order right now. Different websites I've gone to, so.
Yeah, your best bet might be just looking at the used telescope sites, to be quite honest with you. Like Cloudy Nights is a great one because it's free.
I get all my stuff from eBay.
Okay. Yeah, I've actually looked at the actual company's websites, but Cloudy Nights. Now I've done research, or I've got information by looking at their their pages and stuff, like the comments and discussions, I should say. But so within Cloudy Nights, people actually sell stuff too.
They have a classified section, and it's free if you sign up for it, and it's kind of like an eBay. You can leave like how many stars if they're a great communicator, and you can leave kind of feedback kind of a thing. And I've used that quite a bit for selling and purchasing. So you've gotten some really good deals out of it, to be honest with you.
Just don't buy anything that someone doesn't have any feedback or a rating. If they have only a couple forum posts, don't buy anything from them.
Kind of like if you're using an independent seller with Amazon or something. Yeah.
There's a couple of Dobbs for sale in the club floating around. I don't know of any. I think Ralph has a 8-inch that he got back from Ned.
Well, Ned still has it. I haven't gotten it back yet.
Okay.
But that's the club.
I can deliver.
Well, with an 8-inch telescope, you can resolve most of the star cluster.
And you said you had a 6 tabletop?
Yeah, it's an Orion Star Blast.
That's a great scope.
It is, and I got the one with the guidance on it. I wish I hadn't, and I saved the money and went up to an 8 now, but because I hardly use the guidance thing at all. But I still like it. But yeah, I've definitely got aperture fever.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. It's a little bit. And
I'm
this
getting
is
questions from people in Trenton when we're going to start the Cloudland Canyon Star Parties again.
Well, what time is it? Are we getting close to meeting?
And we got 10 or 12 minutes.
I mean, it's going to be up to them, Ned. We've got permission to use it privately, but I don't know. I don't know what they're thinking in terms of doing public things again. And I'll tell you this: we just heard from Harrison Bay about a week ago. After I mean, I've been calling Harrison Bay since May, and I just heard from him about a week ago, and it's going to be slow go, but we do have some good news to report. Those parties will start back in August, and we'll tell you about it in a little bit, but that's at least encouraging.
Okay.
Now, Matt, I think Matt Vaughter and his family's got COVID or has had COVID. So that might have been part of the reason why you've not got in touch with him.
Oh.
Or maybe why you got in touch with him. He's not busy at work now.
Huh. Well, he called me, so I called and left a message, and took him a couple weeks to call me. So
yeah, I saw they posted it. His wife posted it on Facebook or something the other day. So
oh goodness,
there's the Indian paintbrush.
Oh, the flower.
Yeah. So how was all your trips, Kevin?
Our trips were awesome. We camped for 2 weeks, all the way up to Syracuse, New York, and back. Hit 5 state parks and Shenandoah National Park.
You see Rip Van Winkle?
No,
I've been to Rip Van Winkle National Forest.
Okay.
Oh. No, but we drove right by the Greenbrier Radio Telescope. Has anybody been there to that museum? No?
Yeah, we're going to go back.
Yeah, I wish we would have stopped now.
Greenbrier or Green Bank?
Green Bank?
Oh,
Yeah.
Green Bank, maybe.
Oh,
Green Bank.
yeah,
Okay, yeah.
Sorry.
I'll raise my hand, yes. It was
Yeah.
Greenbrier. I was like, where's that
That's
one
a
at?
little town that was nearby there. We get it confused.
You had
But yeah,
I
we
got
were
you.
like, why haven't we had cell phone signal for a really long time? Yeah, we were driving backwoods. We did non-interstate, so it was, But I'd like to go back and tour that.
Selena, we haven't heard from you in quite a while. You been having fun? Turn on your microphone.
Natoka's on Selena's, I think, video. And we can't, we still can't hear you, Natoka.
But you can use the chat.
I was at Green Bank before the 300-foot telescope fell.
Oh, wow. I didn't know when fell.
Yeah, it had a massive structural failure one night.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
So let me get this right, Ralph. You were there, and then the telescope fell.
Many months after I was there.
Okay, I'm with you. Okay. Let's make sure you didn't have anything going on there.
But I have pictures of it when it was still standing.
Yeah.
Ralph had a few souvenir bowls.
Yes, Ned.
That's how you do that.
Well, So is Natoka, is Selena's summer school wrapping up good, I hope? I'm sorry, you'll have to type.
Was anybody able to get out this past weekend and do any imaging or observing? The skies were good Friday and Saturday night. Well, actually Saturday and Sunday.
I have got about 15 hours on North American.
Oh, wow. That's good.
Well, that didn't last long. We couldn't read it. I'm not that fast a reader.
I got in about 7 hours on the Iris Nebula.
Gee. I'm too close to the creek. I can't see anything.
I'm broken and not allowed.
Sure.
Poor thing. Poor thing.
I'll be good to go for Texas though.
So that's
No
gonna
worries.
be awesome, man. You're gonna love it so much.
I just hope the sky is clear up.
David, was that the picture that you posted on Facebook?
Yes.
That was cool. I'd never seen. I can't say I've seen
Thanks.
that before.
It's it is. I just love it because it's a reflection nebula with no hydrogen in it, so there's no red there at all.
Yeah, yeah. It's just very ethereal blue.
Yeah.
And yeah,
And,
really.
and if you get enough time on it, you know, you can really see a lot of detail in the center of that nebula. And that's, you know, when I and that's from here in Ottawa in my driveway, and man, I've got floodlight across the street, or street light on the utility pole. I've got a neighbor that's got two of these ginormous columns on either side of her driveway with these bright lights on it. So it's a wonder I can see anything. But you know, so I've got kind of a hole, and kind of to the northeast is my sweet spot for my darker sky. So, you know, I hit all the circumpolar stuff as it comes around. So it looks like we got about three minutes left, and we can kick it off.
We don't have a quorum.
Bobby, did you get your job stuff parts in yet?
Oh yeah, yes.
Did you get yours? Did you order yours stained, or did you stain it yourself?
I haven't done anything with it. No, it's not stained or anything. It's just bare wood.
Did you put it together and assemble it?
No, I've had too many other things to do. I'm working on an injection pump for my boat now. I finally got that fixed.
Whoa. Boat, about another 1,000.
No, if I'd have tried to find them, they're obsolete. So I tried to find another one. They're $2,500 just for the injection.
2,500.
And there's no parts available, so I had to make the part.
Oh goodness.
So that's what I've been doing. And since I'm down here by the creek and everything, I watch the fog, when I wake up in the mornings.
This is your sailing boat you're talking about.
Yes.
So when you say it's an injection mold, what is it? Did you mold it, or is it, so it doesn't
No,
have
no.
a motor, does it?
It's a 14 horsepower diesel engine in the boat.
Well, I thought it was a sailboat.
It is. It's a 28-foot sailboat.
With a diesel engine.
Huh?
With a diesel motor.
Yes. That's true of all boats.
Really? I thought sailboats, I guess I just didn't I never thought about that. I assumed a sailboat would be wind power.
Well, it is, but it's kind of hard to get in and out of, PYC with a boat my size. And a lot of they have outboards too, so they call them auxiliaries.
Amy just got a notification from the USGS that there was a 6.2 earthquake in California.
On the Nevada-California border. I'm checking with my Nevada people.
How much was it?
A 6.2 at 9 kilometers depth, which is a rocker. That'll shake.
Whereabouts?
Outside of Walker, right on the border.
My son lives in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah.
He always tells. He's on the 32nd floor of this thing, and he swings his way to the front.
Oh wow.
Yeah, he'll feel like 3s and 2s.
4.5 is pretty common. Which kind of shakes you up.
I've got 7 o'clock. Do we have a quorum?
No.
What do we have to have for
Because
it?
there's 14 people in the room.
15.
There is?
Kevin. Yeah. Look over on
Yeah,
the
we
left.
need-
There's a bunch of us that don't have
we need 10.
video on.
10 is a quorum.
We have like 15.
Yeah, we've got 10.
Okay, I don't see everybody.
It's just not
else.
everybody is showing up on the side, and not everybody has their video on.
I'll shut up.
So we ready to roll, Matt?
I'm
What
back.
do
Yep. So we are recording. It's unlisted on YouTube. So we're recording with YouTube. Hopefully, Natoka, please still take your notes because technology could go wrong at any second. But we are recording unlisted, and we'll go back and look at it, and see if it works. But we're not broadcasting to YouTube or Facebook. Once the business meeting's over, we'll close it, and then we can talk amongst ourselves and do what we'd like to do.
All right, cool. So we're ready to get started then?
Yep.
All right, cool. Well, I don't think I've ever shared on this. I've shared on just about everything, but I haven't used this. Let's see what I can share. All right, you guys, what are you guys seeing at the moment?
July 21 business meeting.
Yep.
Well,
That's-
it was there. Now it's gone. There it is.
All right, is it back?
Yep.
Well, I'm seeing it twice. That's that's the
Oh.
weird thing. Okay, that's cool. All right, so is it large enough for everybody?
Looks good to me.
Okay, cool.
Fine.
Well, I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. First of all, I'd like to welcome any guests. I don't know if we've got any visitors. I know that we have at least one new member, Tom Kramer.
Right.
We'd like to welcome him to the group. And
Thank you.
glad to have you. As we said earlier, as we were chatting, always love to get new members and people who share a passion in stargazing and astronomy. And so we are just thrilled to death to have you with us.
Appreciate that.
Anybody else here that is a new member or visiting?
Well, I was in the meeting the live meeting last month, and I actually had a question for Mr. Bell that I don't know if I should ask it now or just wait till after the business part's over about joining, because my wife and I want to join. But I can ask that after we get through, this portion of it. But
yeah, is George here? I don't see George on the call. But yeah, we can answer your questions after the meeting. We'll be glad to get you connected. So we've got the minutes of the previous meeting were sent out in the newsletter. And hopefully everyone got that. Are there any corrections that need to be made to the minutes? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as they're written.
I'm sorry, I had to interject again. I don't know if this really matters in regard to the minutes, but my wife's first name was incorrect on the minutes from last week. If y'all need to know that, if not, you'll get it eventually when we join up.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and get the correct name, and then we'll just accept a motion to accept the minutes as corrected.
Okay.
So
you want to spell it?
Yeah, go ahead, Jonathan.
Okay. Yeah, it was put on the minutes. If I remember, it was spelled something. Or it seemed like it was Karen, but her first name is Christina. It's Christina.
That's my fault, because the person doing the minutes.
It was my fault. I did minutes. My fault.
I just took a wild guess. I didn't want just nothing down there.
No, it's okay. She said she'll let it pass one time.
Okay, thank you. Please apologize to Reed. Totally my fault. So let me make sure I got this right. Christina, Christina.
Mm-hmm.
Christina. Okay.
Okay. Are there any other corrections that we need to make to the minutes? If not, I'll entertain a motion to accept the minutes as corrected.
So move.
Do I have a second? That was Ralph that made the motion. Do I have a second?
Yes.
Got a second? All in favor? Aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, minutes are approved, and we'll move on to the financial report, which will be pretty simple because we don't have one. And unfortunately, as we said last week in the live meeting, we're working on this. We need a treasurer, and for those of you who are new or have been kind of out of touch from things, our treasurer was taken ill, has very severe illness, and unable to continue her duties. And her situation is such that we have had difficulty getting access to the accounts that we need. I know, Tom, you've been affected by this with your Sky and Telescope.
Right.
We're working to correct all that, but unfortunately, we just don't have access to everything we need to have access to at the moment.
Right.
So what we're doing is we're working on that. What Matt's been trying to get with the folks at the bank and get access to the bank account, and we're just going to have to change a couple of the other accounts as we discover we have issues, because we don't have everything. So once we get all this squared away, the idea is that we're not going to have one person who can really, I won't say put us out of business, but keep us shut out like this. We're going to have a shared access with a couple of trusted members who have access to all of the, someone in leadership that has access to all the accounts. So if this happens in the future, we won't be stuck. So we're working through that. So we still need a treasurer, and if you would like to do something for the society, this is a big one right here. Step up and help us become a treasurer. Like I said, we're going to have a couple of folks kind of in the background that can help with the disbursements. So it won't be like taking on the full treasurer role, but a key piece is collecting these membership dues and making sure that the notices are sent out. And that's really a large part of it. And there's a lot of logistics there. If we don't get volunteers, then, I'm just going to start calling people, and do some arm twisting to try to get you to help us out, because we really need to get this squared away. Okay. So that's kind of where we are with the treasurer situation. Is there anybody right now that just wants to jump up and say, yeah, I'll take it on and save the day? That's what I was afraid of. So, okay, the arm twisting will commence.
Well, I offered a friend of mine. He's a donor to the club, but he's not a member, I don't think. He's Tom Atkins' brother-in-law.
Yeah, I mean, we may have to look at something drastic, but quite honestly, I have a little bit of concern letting someone outside of the club manage club funds, unless they're, I mean, we'd have to talk through that, but
I'd twist his arm and make him become a member.
Well, that'll work.
And I don't think there'd be any objection from him.
This is the gentleman that comes to the holiday party every year.
Yes.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. Those are nice.
Yeah, everybody that comes, he comes every year.
Yeah, he does.
Well, Bobby, if you want to reach out to him and make the pitch, just say, hey, hey, I'm even willing to give him a free membership if he'll be the treasurer.
Well, he used to be the treasurer of PYC, so I know he knows what he's doing. He's an accountant and financial advisor anyway. So.
Well, it's an important job, and honestly, it's the toughest position in the club. It really is, because of all the interaction that you have to have. But we've got to get this squared away. So
how are we taking care of the dues since mine are past due?
They're not being taken care of.
Okay.
And that's just it.
Yep.
And we need I need everybody's email address to send them the newsletter too.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're going to have to, this was unforeseen. Nobody could have guessed this would have happened. And I certainly know Janet wasn't planning on this. So, and we're going to be okay. We will get this figured out. There is one person who's in charge of community accounts at Regions, and so we've been playing phone tag, and really I've stopped by twice now and I've missed him both times. And it's been this way in the past. So we're thinking we're going to get account holders, members who've been part of the society and are easy to get in touch with, and then have somebody else be the finance person.
Well, we usually have the president and the treasurer on the account.
Right.
Yeah, we've got to get some governance in place for that whole thing. So we'll definitely work on that. The goal right now is we want to get access to all the accounts we need access to. We'll get our treasurer, Bobby. Please reach out, and if he's willing, then yeah, let's see if we can make that happen. And then we'll work on the governance. The leadership will work on the governance process for this, so that we don't find ourselves in this situation. The good news is, as Matt said, we will get through this, and there is no issue. I mean, it's not like we have disbursements going out all the time that need a lot of attention. there's no danger of any of our funds disappearing or whatever. Everything's there. It's just kind of frozen at the moment. So we'll get squared away and be back in tip-top shape here soon enough.
Has anybody talked to Janet? I talked to her a couple of weeks ago. She did, and she answered her phone, which I was surprised. She was in Knoxville Hospital. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I've spoken with her several times. And she is with her family. Last I talked to her a couple weeks ago, she was with her family in Knoxville. I was unaware that she was moved to the hospital.
oh, maybe that's just an assumption on my part. I don't remember. But I think that's what she said.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing too, is we've been trying to limit who contacts her. You know, Amy had a connection with her as the previous president, so we've been trying to be thoughtful and respectful of her, because this is a very serious situation she's in. And so you know, we've made our request to get what we need. We've got some things, but we don't have everything, and that's kind of where it's at. So,
and I would add, there's a complicating factor, I think, of, and Tom actually brought this to my attention when he called me today, that PayPal generates a form that I don't know what's on that form. I assume my contact information is on that form, and it has a mailing address for a check. I'm assuming that was changed to Janet because Canby was receiving those checks and requested that it be changed. So
Amy, what you sent me on the download portion was exactly what I sent in, and it listed the treasurer of 3 years ago. I can't remember, from Signal Mountain.
Okay.
So then that's what I sent in.
Okay, so that is where your check went, to Canby?
Yes. And yes. I talked to her today, and she has not seen it. So.
Oh.
Unless her address changed.
Okay, because she would usually contact us and put that check in my mailbox.
Yeah,
so
she hasn't seen it.
If she didn't receive it, then she didn't receive it.
Maybe she moved or something. I don't know.
All right. Well, we've definitely got to get a governance process in place here, and we will do that. So apologies to everybody that's affected by this right now. Tom, especially you as a new member, you're kind of scratching your head going, what the heck's going on?
I get it.
Yeah, it's just a tough situation that we find ourselves in at the moment, but we'll get through it. Okay. Anything else we need to discuss there? We'll move on.
If someone joins online and sends money online, we can't get that either at the moment. Because a guy at work, the guy that bought David's telescope, joined this past week. Said he sent his money in before I sent him an email saying, "Hey, Rusty, wait, because we're having some difficulty here." So he's already sent his money in, but hadn't heard anything back.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't know how any of that worked. So, you know, I'd say his money's sitting out there in a holding. You know, his dues are sitting there in an account waiting to be swept and moved into our checking account, I guess. So I don't know. We'll, you know, Matt and I have been in conversation about that. We're going to keep working on it, and we'll try to get it all sorted out here.
Yeah, we should have it just direct deposit to our account in the bank instead of going to anybody, I would say.
Yeah, we'll look at the way it's set up now and see if we can streamline that. So yeah, we'll get it sorted. Okay, let's move on. Under old business, a short recap of our first in-person meeting last week. You know, we met at Boyd Buchanan School, and that went very well. Many of you were in participation at that meeting, and It was just great to see everybody, and we had the show and tell. And as I said in the newsletter, I think Ralph wins the reward for the most doohickeys and doodads. He's got quite a collection, and but it was great. Appreciate everybody coming out and sharing their time and sharing their equipment and letting us see it. That's one of the great things about this show and tell, and even just joining the society in particular, is you come out to our star parties and you can see these telescopes. You can talk to the people that own them, and you can get to understand what's good, what's bad, that kind of thing. So it's great all the way around. But it was a great meeting. We had a great time there, and many thanks to Boyd Buchanan for allowing us access so that we could do that. So moving on, also we have an auction going on for the 16-inch Dob that was donated by Bill Seymour, and we had a bid on it, and then the bid got retracted. And so right now, as far as I'm aware, we don't have any bids on the scope. So Matt, anything you want to add to that?
Sorry about that. No, I think we will probably list it for a couple more days, give our members one last chance to make an offer on it and see if it goes anywhere, or if anybody wants to make an offer. At this point, it's been up there, no one made an offer. So, and then if we have to, we'll try and list it on cloudy nights with a local pickup. I guess as a member of the society, I was very hopeful that it would stay local. But it may not. So the scope in question is certainly a nice scope. One just like it that was actually 2 inches smaller sold for $2,500 on cloudy nights last week. So I have no doubt that we'll sell it, and possibly for more money. But in my mind, I'm not so much worried about the money as much as I am about keeping it local, so that Bill's telescope can still be used by the local folks. So if anybody is interested in it, you can go to the Groups IO forums and look at the listing and make a bid from there. I know it says that the 7th bids will close, but we'll extend that, and we'll David and I will figure out what is a good time to list that, and then we'll probably list it on cloudy nights. So if no one makes an offer, we'll go from there. And several of you have reached out to me and said that you might be interested, and I'm going to be calling you guys and you guys and gals and seeing if anybody does want to make an offer, and we would probably entertain the highest offer at that point.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Matt. That's all of the old business that I have. Under new business, I'm going to turn to Matt again, because he's been in touch with the folks at Harrison Bay, but we have Star Party scheduled for Harrison Bay on August the 24th.
Yep.
And ongoing from there, the third Friday of every month. So what we need to discuss are any safety protocols and parameters that we want to have. Now, this is not a public Star Party. It's for the park, the folks in the park, like the folks that are at the campground, and BAS members only. So it's not going to be advertised out publicly.
Let me just make sure.
And so, but we wanted to talk to the rest of the club and get your thoughts on what you feel are appropriate protocols or things that we need to be concerned about. Some of you may be concerned, some may not. But we need to have a plan in place. And in fact, I would even like to have someone volunteer to put a committee together to kind of plan these safety protocols for this star party on the 24th. Any takers for that?
David, I'm sorry, I'm not
Yes.
volunteering. This is Amy, but I have a quick question. I was putting this in my calendar, and the 24th is a Tuesday.
It's the 20th,
Oh.
and I apologize,
Okay.
David. I gave you the wrong date. It's the
All right.
20th.
Well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so it's not our regular second Saturday.
No, and the Saturdays
No.
are booked well into 2022. Matt said because of the parks, because of the loss of fee of any kind of financial support from campsites and things like that in 2020, they're making money anywhere they can, and they just started renting things out probably about 3 months ago. And again, I've called Matt. I've been calling him since probably April. And he said that their decision was they had to make money, and they didn't make any money on us other than, let us have that space. So they couldn't give us the Saturdays, but he said we could have the third Friday. And because I had such a hard time getting in touch with him, I said, we'll take it. So I understand it's a Friday, but it might work out. It's a fun thing to do on a Friday night, and it mixes it up a little bit, but we've got Fridays for 2021 and 22 until the Saturday's open. And he said that I believe it's this time next year, June 22, when the Saturdays open back up. And I said, well, we'd prefer Saturdays. So,
but we will be flexible because there has been a pandemic.
Yes, there has. And that's
Semper Gumby, always flexible.
Yeah, and hey, we might like the Fridays better. Who knows?
And that may very well be the case. There's not very many college football games that we're competing with on Fridays, I don't believe.
No, and the other nice thing is, I think we'll get a lot of younger folks on Friday night.
Date night, man.
Yeah, date night. That's right.
I'm good. I'm good with Fridays. That's just
good.
In fact, that way, people might come who otherwise might not because they figure they got to get up early on Sunday.
Yeah.
We'll lose all the Seventh-day Adventists maybe, but
yeah,
and that would be a shame. But
yeah,
Well,
I want to.
I hope I didn't offend anybody there. I didn't. That was not my intent.
I want to emphasize what David said about thinking this through. I don't think we'll have any issues, but I want to at least do due diligence here and think through any safety measures we might need to have. I know Catawba Science Center come up with some very great protocols. They had folks using face masks or face shields, and then some of their members put a face shield over their telescope. And they had incorporated fans to kind of clear out that area. As if you think about it, a person puts their face into a space and then moves it away, and then somebody else puts their face in that same space. So breathing, might maybe into the same cloud of breath of someone else. So I'm sure we're smart folks. We can come up with some things to mitigate any kind of dangers. And I think number one, it shows we're taking it serious, and then at the same time trying to keep folks safe.
I think they're coming up with that it's being passed by touch more than being by breath or coughs or anything like that.
This is Amy. I have a suggestion, quite possibly. I know at UTC, when I taught a lab through COVID that was face-to-face, and we had, things we had to do, and they had a specific spray for us for our microscopes to clean the lenses in case we had to have multiple students looking through one microscope. So it's a spray that wouldn't hurt the microscope. So I don't know if that's something that I can try to find what it was. If people are interested in spraying down the optic piece, between people, that can be something as well.
Along that same thought, I know lots of folks would not want to spray anything on their optics, and and that's why Catawba used the face shield. So members actually put face shields over their optics and wipe that down. So that would just, I mean, at that point, you probably use Windex on a plastic, face shield. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think thinking through things like this, I think that's something we should do. And I think Kevin's idea of electronic assisted astronomy is a great idea also.
That's what I put.
Yeah, I'm all about that. I think that'll be great.
Well, put it on your calendar because Friday the 20th, we're doing it.
And David, if need, I don't know if I want to champion your committee or not, but I gladly be involved with it.
Okay.
To help kind of go through just to have that discussion.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you want to, you could just, if you want to shoot out something on Groups.io and just solicit ideas and thoughts, and then just collect them, and then we can, discuss it at the August meeting. And that'll give us time to, kind of get things put in place. I know we're kind of hitting everybody cold with this, but it give you some time to think about it. Anybody else?
I have a counter opinion. Might not be very popular, probably isn't. But vaccines are readily available to anyone who wants to get them. If you don't want to get them, maybe you shouldn't be out in the world where people aren't vaccinated.
Yeah, that's a valid point.
They're
The
not
unfortunate
vaccinating.
problem is we can't control vaccinated people only coming to the Star Party.
Well,
I'll
that's
say
my
this,
point.
you guys.
It,
I know people that have been vaccinated already that have already caught COVID in the last week, so that's no guarantee either. So just FYI.
Come at your own risk.
Yeah. And certainly that goes without saying. If you don't feel comfortable, feel free not to participate. But at the same time, I think there might be some folks who are on the fence, and maybe if we, are wiping things down or at least thinking about it, or, being proactive, I think that goes a long way towards us showing that, as a public group, that we're thinking in terms of public safety.
They're not vaccinating kids under 12, so.
True.
But that's our most pride and joy, I think, are the kids.
Well, they're already the most disease-riddled ones anyway, so.
That's for sure.
I agree with that. My crew member, 2 kids came down with it.
Any other discussion at the moment? I mean, I understand this is very serious. That's why we're taking the time to talk about it. And we don't want to just throw caution to the winds. We want to be very intentional about what we do and the way that we do it. And so if you have some thoughts and ideas, post them in Groups.io, and we'll collect those, and then we'll formulate a plan that we can discuss at next month's meeting.
Sounds good. I will create that thread in Groups.io.
Okay.
I'll
Excellent.
do it
Thank you.
I'll do it under, I think, member chat.
Okay. All right. Next up, we have the Cloudland Canyon Star Party for BAS only on Saturday night, July the 10th. And I hope that's a good date. It's this coming Saturday, regardless of the day. Yeah. So this is for BAS only. Cloudland Canyon staff is allowing us to come out there, and we'll be at the normal spot up there by the Frisbee golf course. And just remember to pay the fee, the $5 fee, or you can join the park and pay an annual fee. Seniors get discounts. That was all in the email that Matt sent out. But this will be a great time, hopefully weather permitting, that we can get together just for Star Party, just to image or observe or whatever. So that's on the books for Saturday night. Sorry. Anything there, Matt, you want to add about that one?
Nope, just please remember to pay your fee. Dustin Fleming called and got us permission. I will say this, he actually got us permission for Friday and Saturday. For those of you who cannot go Saturday and would like to go and observe on Friday, I think we're all adult members here. Just don't mess it up for us. The thing about it is, if one of the rangers comes by, you let them know you're with the Barnard Astronomical Society. Any members that would like to go Friday or Saturday, you're welcome to. Remember, the gate shuts at 9 o'clock. Or actually, I think it's 10, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. And you can get out, but you can't get in. So also, when you go out, please think about try not to shine your lights in people's tent campsites and that sort of thing as you drive down the road. Be aware that they do come and check for the fees quite often. And a lot of times it's one of those things where you're like, you get there, you start setting up, you forget to go get your envelope. When you get there, go get your envelope and pay your $5. Put it in there so you can just say, I put it in the box. That just shows good faith on our part. And to be honest with you, that is the best dark sky parking lot in our area, and we don't want to mess that up.
And that was one of the only stipulations they had when I set this up with them. Was we asked that you pay the $5 parking fee,
and they're sticklers about it,
and help us with the Star Parties. That is all he said.
Yep,
that was it.
Yeah, they're sticklers about it. Now they're not ready to return to Star Parties, but they're at least letting us do this. So please pay the fee. It's honestly, it's cheaper to go online and pay the fee online. It's $50 for the year. If you go up 10 times, you've paid for it. And in a normal year, we'll go up that much more, actually.
They've added more boxes also. There's another one up at the rim of the canyon, so you don't have to go all the way down past the outhouses, to get to it.
Okay, very good. Well, hopefully we'll see everybody Saturday night. It'd be a great opportunity for people to kind of see what's going on and get some hands-on equipment. Okay.
I got a question about that. Hello, this is John Barry. I had a question. Did Matt say the time you have to show up before 9 o'clock to get in?
The gate, I believe, closes. You cannot get in after 9 o'clock. I believe that's the deal.
Eastern
time.
Daylight time.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. And usually for those who are setting up, have a lot to set up, especially the guys doing imaging, there'll be somebody there 7, 8 o'clock, so you wouldn't be alone by yourself if you came earlier, than 9 o'clock. But the thing I'll say is, if you show up after dark, you need to be respectful of the folks who are doing stargazing as well with the lights. That's always one of the frustrating things there, especially when people leave the public. They just turn on their fog lights and their headlights and just blast light across the field, and it's like, really? Okay, enough of that. So that's all the new business. Anyone else have any other new business? Okay. I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
We're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
Okay. Program, you ready?
Yep. Yeah. Oh, Jonathan, did you have a question that you wanted to ask? Well, are we ready to start the program? We need a minute or two to get started, or Jonathan had a question.
Go ahead.
I guess what I believe as Tom went through is the